making a movie where you're playing a real character is one of the most daunting things to do as an actor.
Yeah.
And here you are like working out with the guy that you're going to play.
Yeah.
Uh, so how is that to really get to bond with someone? Because I feel like you really do that when you work out with someone.
Yeah, I feel lucky. I don't know how often you ever get to have this experience. Usually it's an interview for 20 minutes or a book I get to read, but this turned into something that ended up being so much passion for me and care for me. This became larger than me. It wasn't the guy I'm playing in a film. This became a friend of mine and somebody that I wanted to make sure I did this right for and I did justice for it, you know? And it informed a lot of the performance. I got to study him and observe him without him even knowing. I know it sounds weird, but I got to just sit back and watch him in all these different settings, and that in turn informed a lot of the performance.
There is this scene where um, Jude, your character as Judy, receives this basket of letters that people had written about her son, um, and I feel like maybe you, Jennifer, might have gotten tons of letters throughout the years from fans, but doing that scene as the mother reading something about her son, I got emotional watching that. How did you do that? And Judy, how was it when that actually happened?
Um, for me, that was a really, really important scene. I call it the unstoppable scene because it's where I tell him that he's unstoppable. But more than that, that was a lot of the story that I tell in that movie was the stuff that I got from Judy's mouth herself when I was first asking her about how she felt about having, getting pregnant young and having a baby and then finding out that he was missing a leg and all of that. And to me, that was the essence of what, she was carrying her whole life. And I added that into the scene. I asked Billy if I could add all that dialogue. I actually had a whole thing written. And it was very emotional. Probably one of the, most important scenes for me to be able to tell your son, like, what you've been trying to tell him his whole life, which is like, you are important. You really affect people's lives. You've really done it. You've really made something of yourself. And that's all you ever wanted for your child. But then in that same moment to go, and you've taught me the same thing. That to me is what Anthony and Judy's relationship was about. That was the thing that I wanted to get in the movie from meeting the two of them. So you touched on probably the most important scene as far as I think Judy's character is concerned.
Yeah. And I have two boys too. So how was it that for you, Judy? Did you think that scene like displayed what you felt in that moment?
Oh, no, I thought it was a very strong moment for the two of them because it started with, that was pivotal in Anthony's life, those letters. Those letters meant a lot to him because he had just, struggled and fought and just get setback after setback. And he, he was discouraged. And for just these strangers to just see him on a video wrestling and to send him those letters, it helped him. It helped him to keep going. And I think that was an important part, not just in his life, but in mine, because in seeing that, I was like, all those things, all the strength that I saw in my son, other people can see it. Other people need it. Because I was feeding off that for a very long time. Anthony's had a lot of strength, and I very selfishly wanted to hold on to it. But then for other people to see it, well-deserved, the amazing human being that my son is. But then for Jennifer to portray Judy and to share all the heartache and the pain, that I've held on to for so long, it was like a moment of release for me. And it was, yes, all of those things, it's true. I felt these things about myself, but because of you, I don't feel that way about myself. And so it just, to me, it allows people, to be inspired by Anthony. And I think that's what's extremely important about this film.
Yeah, and how was it for you, Anthony, to kind of get a front row seat of the guy who's actually going to play you? Most people don't get to experience that ever.
That was incredible, but it was definitely some mixed feelings there. There was excitement, but also it was just this fear of, okay, you know, who's going to tell my story? How are they going to tell it? You know, am I going to recognize my life up there? And for Jarrell coming on board, you know, I remember him telling me, you know, when we initially met, I'm going to make you proud of this story. I'm going to make you proud of your story. And that was very special to me because it allowed me just to, over time, I just was able to have complete trust in him and just this belief and knowing that he was going to share my story in the most authentic way he could. And he did an outstanding job doing that. You know, so to be able to see that on set, just be behind the camera and watching him, I was amazed. And it felt like a lot of times I was just reliving moments as he was going through them on the screen. So that for me was therapeutic in a lot of ways because she captured in words what I really had difficulty saying in words at times as I was going through the moments.
Yeah. What do you guys hope? We only have like a minute left now, but what do you hope that people take away from watching this movie?
You know, film has always been an escape for me, and I think for a lot of us, it's always been medicine for very dark times, and I think that's what we're all in right now, regardless of what we're going through, whether it's, you know, cultural, political, financial. There's this sort of burden over us all, it feels like. So I hope this film can be an escape for people, to remind people that you're not alone in the struggle. There are other people struggling, in fact, struggling worse than you even, and so perspective is important. Right now in today's day, I think. So I think this film can give a lot of perspective, and especially to the young kids and the youth and people and kids who are lost and maybe want to pick up a sport but don't know how to, maybe want to try something but don't know how to. This is the film for them.
Yeah. And also, I'm really waiting for that next Spider-Man movie as well, because you're amazing in that too. So thanks a lot for taking your time to speak with me today, and best luck with the premiere now.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.